morning, everyone, and welcome to another live with Tink's Magical Vacations. I am so excited this evening. Joining me are two of our travel planners. We have Megan, who is a senior travel planner with Tink's Magical Vacations, and Kara is joining us. I'm so excited because tonight we are talking about Genie Plus. Megan, would you like to say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Megan, a senior travel planner with Tink's Magical Vacations. And we're actually talking about the app, but that's okay. Kristen's got a lot going on. We are talking about the Walt Disney World app, which I am excited about too. So I think that we will have a lot of tips for you guys, making sure that you understand how to work it. It is a very important piece to your vacation. We want to make sure that everybody understands how it works. Kara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Kara. I've been with Tinks for almost a year, and I'm super excited to be here and chatting about the Disney World app.
Perfect. So I know that the app can be super, super confusing, even for myself, who's a Disney veteran, you guys. So I'm excited for you guys to take us through the app. And if you guys are just joining us, I see lots of hellos. Hello to Alice. Hello to James. Please put your comments, questions. Let us know where you're watching from this evening. Megan and Kara will be answering all questions about the Walt Disney World app. So, girls, tell me, before I leave home, once my trip is then deposited, hopefully with Tink's Magical Vacations, how do I get this app? Do I have to pay for this app? What do I do?
Those are great questions. So the app is completely free. You can get it on your Android or your iOS device. You can go into the Google Play, area or your Apple App Store, and download it for free. It's definitely something that you want to do pronto to make sure that you have it and you start getting familiar with it.
Excellent. Thank you. And it is free, they said, so make sure you download it right away. And Kara, I know you guys are going to take us step by step and share a couple slides. We had a couple questions come in through our info at Tink's Magical Vacations account today. Once I download that app, do I need to link in my reservation resort stay somewhere on the app?
Yes, you do. And I think I do have an image we can share that kind of walks you through.
Perfect. So start taking us step by step. And then if our questions that have come in are not answered, I'll chime in. So go ahead, ladies, take it away.
All right, I'm going to try.
Do you have the slide? We're going to start actually and I've got my phone in front of me so I can make sure that I am working with you guys, but we are actually going to start and we're going to describe all of the icons at the bottom of the app. So if you are following along with your phone, if you open up your app, there's 5 icons at the bottom of your app. And we're going to actually work backwards through those icons because they are sort of how you get around your app. They're really important to understanding how to navigate. So the first icon we're going to start with are the 3 lines in the lower right-hand corner, better known as the hamburger. I don't know. That's what we call it.
So these 3 lines over here.
Yes. So those 3 lines are going to take you to a page called the tile page. And this is a page, it's one-stop shopping, and it's going to be the easiest way for you to navigate through the app itself. Now, it's not the only way to navigate through this app, okay? The tile page I find and Kara finds to be the easiest to get to, right? And here we have. So this is your home page. And we're going to skip right over that because we don't think it's as helpful. And there is the tile page. Perfect. Thank you, Kara. So, Kara, why don't you get us started on what some of these tiles are all about?
Yeah, so there's several different tiles, as you can see. It involved 2 screenshots to be able to share what is included in this. I think, Megan, you said earlier you call it a little hamburger.
I
in that
do.
in that bottom right corner that's circled in the red. I've never heard that, so that's new for me. So in the hamburger section of the app, you can see that there's probably 16 or 17 different options to click on. So the one that or I guess the two that I tend to use the most are the tip board and the the Disney Genie Day. So we can probably do a whole nother session just on Genie Plus and how to use that. But those are probably the most useful when you're in the parks. It kind of gives you ride wait times. They provide suggestions on which rides they think you should do next if you have Genie Plus for the day. Under your PhotoPass lens, there's some fun options, interactive lenses that you can use and take pictures while you're in the park. And then the tickets and passes are obviously important, especially if you don't have a Magic Band. That's where you would scan to get into the parks. You have your Disney Magic Mobile, your virtual queues, which at the moment would get you into Tron. If you're at Magic Kingdom, if anybody's done it, please share your input. I just wrote it a week ago. It was a great option. And then where the question that Kristen had brought up earlier is where would you link your resort or your any package that you've purchased is in that resort hotel area. So if you click on that box, it actually brings you to a new screen that says, this is what you have linked, or do you want to link a new one?
Right.
I clicked on it earlier and sadly it was like, you have nothing planned. So I think we need to fix that. But so that
Well,
is
and
step by step.
Sorry, Kara. And once you link your reservation with your account, and as a side note, you can link it either in your app or you can link it in a browser through your account as well. But once it's linked, and then that resort hotel will actually tile will actually bring up information about your resort hotel, and it will also be where your mobile key is. So once you check in and you have that key, it'll also be in that resort hotel tile.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So did you want to keep going through the tiles and save the best for last, or do you which one do you want to do next?
The only other one I wanted to highlight here was the mobile food order one.
Okay.
I think that's an important one to highlight. And for those that don't know what the mobile food ordering is, throughout the parks, you can pre-order food from your Disney app. And then when you are ready to eat and you're within your timing window that you select, you can arrive to these locations and hit a button that says, I'm here, make my food. And when your number is called, you can go and pick it up. And that helps avoid wait lines, and it kind of speeds things up and progresses you through your day. So I think that's also an important one to highlight. Was there anything else, Megan, you wanted to jump on, or Kristen?
No, I was
would
just
like
gonna say, seeing it this way, like being able to look at it this way, like ahead of time before a vacation begins, it seems very less overwhelming than it does when you're in the park trying to navigate through things. So this is super helpful. Thank you, ladies.
I want to talk about the future plans tile, because I think that that's where most people, before they're actually in the parks, because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't have to worry about it till I get there. But there's so much that, the app can be super helpful before you go. And the two tiles I'll highlight for that purpose before you're even in the park are your future plans and the park hours and info. So inside future plans, what you're going to find there. So the first step is after you've booked your vacation with Tinks or with Tinks, you can find, once you've linked your reservation, it's going to show you your resort and the dates that you're there. Then once you've made your park reservations, which will not be always and forever, however, for now, when you make your park reservations, your reservations will show up there as well. Then after you've made any dining reservations, that's where you can see, that's where they're going to live as well. So as you sort of add these things to your itinerary, this is where it's going to be, is under future plans. And I think a lot of people will they get confused because they open up the app, and on that home screen, you're going to see a snippet of your itinerary. It's literally just your first day's activity.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, where is everything? Future plans, the tile, future plans tile. And then the other one that I think people use a lot before they get there is going to be your park hours and info. I get that question more often than not, right? Well, what are the hours? Are they the same? What, everything is in that park hours and info. Again, as a side note, they tend to only run out about 60 plus a few days sometimes. So if you're traveling in 6 months, probably not going to see it, even that 3-month mark. So, but that's where that lives. So it's super helpful there.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, we'll go to your next slide.
So this is going to be, so again, working at the bottoms of your app, that bottom bar stays the same no matter where you navigate. You can see here on the slide that the little magnifying glass is circled, and this is your search tool. If you just can't find something in your app, you do want to go into this search tool. And just a note about this tool, it definitely can be a little tricky to find exactly what you're looking for. It's not like a Google search where you can just put in a broad sort of like, I was recently looking for the African trek. What is it? Wild Africa trek.
Wow.
And I think I typed in African safari by accident and it wouldn't come up. So there's definitely a little bit of tweaking there. You have to use the right words to find what you're looking for. But it can be super helpful if you just want to navigate to a certain, say, restaurant. As long as you know the name of the restaurant, you can sort of jump in there. This is what that magnifying glass is for.
Perfect. All right, we'll go to your next one.
Kara, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so this is a little hard to tell how we got here, but in the main menu, there's the add button in the very middle of the bottom of the screen, and this is what opens when you click on that add button. So this is a kind of a quick way to navigate to dining options, the mobile food order, merchandise checkout, etc. As you can see it on the screen. I think I use this add button the most when I'm either ordering food or checking for dining availability. Personally, I tend to go over to that little hamburger for future plans for the Genie Day and tip board and things like that. But this is just kind of a shortcut in how to get over there.
And the dining, it works very well. Another Tinks planner gave me a little tip the other morning when I was helping a guest with their dining, that booking through the app when your booking window opened was much quicker, and we were able to secure everything for this guest than going on a computer. And the guest herself was trying to do it through a web browser, and another Tinks agent said, no, do it through the app. And we were done in 9 days of dining in about 8 minutes. So it does work. That's exactly.
I agree 100%, Kristen. We could do a whole nother chat about securing dining, right? For sure.
Yeah, but this is great. Order food and everything. Okay, I will take you guys to the next slide. Oh, this is one of my favorite things in the app.
I tend to find myself looking at this even when I'm not in the park, especially leading up to being in the parks. So this is a map, and you can zoom out. You can see the resorts. You can see all the parks, and you can filter up at the top. You can see on the screenshot, it says wait times. You can click on that little arrow. You can find restrooms, guest services, first aid, restaurants, quick service, anything, characters, entertainment, anything you could possibly need when you're in a park, you can use this map to find it.
And bathrooms, that's the big one that I
always
point out.
In a park right now, but it's just nice to see what the wait times are.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I tend to look at this every once in a while just to wish I was there. And I actually tend to find it sometimes easier, instead of looking at it at the map view, you can show it as the list view. And I tend to find that sometimes looking at it as a list is easier because they'll alphabetize the rides, they'll alphabetize restaurants. things like that. So sometimes it's easier to spot where to head next.
Where to head. Okay.
The other thing that's fun, that pull down category, is you can find PhotoPass spots where the photographers usually are, which is, yeah. So if you've got the memory maker and you're like, I want to do a family photo, but I don't want, the classic castle picture, and you see all those, you can go in and it'll show you where all the PhotoPass spots are. So it is another sort of fun thing in there.
Excellent. Okay. And the next slide you guys wanted to show.
Yeah, so this is the main homepage. So when you first open up the Walt Disney World app, it'll ask you to log in. Once you're logged in, this is what you'll see. So it's the reason we kind of work backwards is because you can sometimes find things a little bit easier from the other tabs than on the homepage. The homepage can kind of sometimes be full of information that you can kind of get lost. So this is the homepage. It obviously, from this screenshot, you can see it has a direct link to your Genie services. It shows you how much the Genie Plus service is going to be for today. And if you scroll down, you can, obviously, Kristen, you can't scroll down because it's a screenshot, but if you were in the app and you were to scroll down, you can see the park hours for that day. And there's sometimes up and coming articles that are popular across guests. So there was one the other day about Ratatouille. There was one today about the new restaurant they just announced in Epcot that's coming soon. So there's kind of, if you're looking just for some news and anything interesting happening in Disney World, the homepage, I think, is a good place to find that. I'm not sure.
The other thing on the homepage that I just want to point out, I'm looking at my app right now, actually. So the virtual queue, there is a button to join the virtual queue on your homepage. And this is sometimes the easiest place to find that, right? And again, we could do an entire probably live on just getting in virtual queues, but just know that that is a quick way to get to, and it does take a little bit of scrolling, but it's very clear. That's the one thing that's very clear on this homepage is how to get, join a virtual queue. There's a button right there.
Yeah, great. I will take this. I'm going to remove this right now. And then that was super helpful. And I even learned something from it. So if you guys have any questions, I'll scroll through and see what questions you guys have. Megan and Kara definitely are very well versed in, the app, and definitely have done their homework. And, if you would like to contact them or any of the planners at Tink's Magical Vacations, their information is at the bottom of the screen. And I'm just going to check, ladies, because I think we have a couple comments. Yes, selection is best through the app for dining. James has commented. Any last minute tips before I let you go for the evening? What tips that would help somebody new with the app that, once they have it downloaded? What are like your top 3 tips once I, booked my vacation and downloaded the app?
So one of the top things that I always tell my clients is to become familiar with the app so that you are comfortable finding things when you're in the parks, right? So sort of navigating, you really can't do anything wrong. I think a lot of people are worried, but I'm going to mess up my reservation. You can't mess up your reservation. It doesn't matter what you do. So push all the buttons, tap all the things.
Watching TV, get on it and play.
Yes, exactly. Play with it and get comfortable so that when you have to go to the bathroom, you could be like, oh, wait, I know how to find a bathroom. So, and there's just so many things going on in the park. You want to be comfortable with it for sure.
And do you recommend, like, if I'm traveling with my spouse or my significant other, should we all download the app or should just mom download the app?
That's a great question. Kara, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so I always say it's better for more people to have the app than for one person. I'm the type of person that's on my phone a lot when I'm in the parks. I'm posting, I'm taking pictures, videos, and my phone tends to die before lunch. So I always recommend it's best for more than one person to have the app. I also recommend that when I'm traveling and when I have clients traveling, it's okay to log into the same account on different phones. That way you have the reservation saved, because you cannot link a reservation across more than one account in the app. So I do recommend, if you're going to download it on multiple phones, make sure you're logged into the same account on all of them.
Great.
That is a super good point. And I'm going to add a couple things to that. One is, as Kara said, your phones do, because you're using that app so much, your phones tend to die earlier. So you definitely want to have either a rechargeable battery on you to make sure that you can recharge your phone, or you can use the fuel rods, which they have them in several locations throughout Walt Disney World parks. Basically, you buy one and then you can turn it in for a fully charged one at various locations. But in addition, like Kara was saying about, you can't, mom and dad can't both link the reservation to individual accounts. What you have to do is link to each other. And that's another step that your planner can help you with.
Excellent. And someone just asked, how do you get rid of the watermarks that a PhotoPass photographer takes on the pictures, which is a great question.
It sure is. So if you have Memory Maker with your package, when you hit photos, the photos are all going to have watermarks on them until you click into that picture, and you're basically activating. Does it say activate? I can't even remember, but you do have to hit something to sort of accept it and kick it into gear. And once you do that, all of those watermarks will disappear.
Excellent.
As long as you are in the room that Memory Maker is on the reservation for.
And another quick question, is it best to purchase the Memory Maker before I leave home or when I get to the parks? Kara, is it better ahead of time, or should I purchase it when I get to the park?
I always recommend to book it in advance. I believe the price is a bit cheaper if you book it in advance than if you wait until you arrive. So that's my advice. I'm not sure if you guys have anything to add to that.
No, that's what I would recommend. And
yeah, it's about $30 less when you book it in advance.
$30 less. Perfect. Anything last minute you want to add about the app? I know we'll do another live and talk about Genie Plus and joining the virtual queue and things, but this is super helpful. We will have this on YouTube and on our social media, so guests can go back and refer to it. Be sure to contact Kara or Megan at Tink's Magical Vacations, and they will be happy to get you booked. And anybody who does book will receive a gift card with their final documents as a thank you from Tink's Magical Vacations. So just mention this. And anything else, girls? But thank you so much for taking the time tonight. This was super helpful, and I'm sure a lot of our guests will be going back and watching the replay of this.
I hope so.
All
right. Well, thanks for having us.
And thank you, Megan. Bye-bye.
Bye.